Today I will be talking about the Arctic tundra biome. The Arctic tundra is a cold, treeless area of plains in the far north and far south. It includes the northern lands of Europe, Asia, North America, most of Greenland, and Antarctica. It is between the latitudes of 55 and 70 degrees north and south of the equator. The average winter temperature is negative 34 degrees Celsius, but the average summer temperature is between 3 and 12 degrees Celsius, which enables this biome to sustain life. Rainfall may vary in different regions of the Arctic. Yearly precipitation, including melting snow, is 15 to 25 centimeters a year. This biome has a layer of permanently frozen subsoil called permafrost, which eliminates any deep-rooted plants. When water saturates the upper surface, ponds may form, providing more moisture for plants, even though there are no deep-root systems in the vegetation of the Arctic tundra. There are still a wide variety of plants that are able to resist the cold climate. The abiotic limiting factors of the Arctic tundra are very long and cold winters, strong winds, little precipitation, short summer days, poor soil, and permafrost. The main producers in the Arctic tundra are dwarf shrubs, sedges and grasses, mosses and lichens. The main consumers are pikas, musk oxen, caribou, and Arctic hares. Some predator-prey relationships are the polar bear and the ringed seal, the Arctic fox and the pika, and the Arctic wolf and the snow goose. Not many plants can live in the Arctic tundra, but ones who can have adaptations so they are able to live in extreme weather. Plants are usually small and close together, which helps protect them from the strong winds and extreme cold. Some have cup-shaped flowers that face towards the sun so they can get the most sunlight directed to the middle of the flower. Some are darker so they can absorb more solar heat for photosynthesis. Mostly they have short roots because the only top layer of soil is thawed, and they usually have smaller leaves so they can retain more moisture. The animals have also adapted to live in the tundra. Like hibernation in the winter and migration in the summer, many animals also have two layers of fur, one short and one long. Air is trapped in the short fur and is warmed by body heat, which acts as insulation from the cold. Also a cool adaptation is that the musk ox has very hard hooves, which it uses in the winter to break the surface ice in order to drink the water that's underneath. Humans impact the Arctic tundra by oil drilling and by global warming. The cause of oil drilling is the need for gas to power cars and other vehicles, and the huge oil reserves under the ice. Arctic oil drilling is very dangerous and high risk. An oil spill under the water would have a catastrophic impact on the ecosystem and wildlife that live there. And these spills are very prevalent considering that huge icebergs go past the drilling rigs every day, and the best method of clearing them is pushing them out of the way. But recently, with the new hype of electric cars, the need for oil drilling is decreasing. These oil rigs can only work in the Arctic tundra for a few months of the year, so hopefully these rigs will not be needed in the near future. The cause of global warming is increased carbon emissions from industrialization, which warms the Earth. This causes ice in the Arctic tundra to melt, which means a smaller and smaller ecosystem for the terrestrial organisms in this biome. These animals need this ice to travel from place to place and to hunt on, but without this ice, these animals will have to travel longer to get to the same place, and have to go longer without food, which impacts reproductive success. In order to solve this problem, we have to release less carbon emission to hopefully reduce global warming. One of the endangered species in the Arctic tundra is the Arctic fox. On the right of the screen is the fox with a brown coat in summer when the ice melts, and the left picture is in the winter with the fox's white coat. This organism fills a predatory niche. It helps control smaller populations such as lemmings and Arctic hares, and it feeds some of the larger animals like polar bears. The Arctic fox had a drastic population decline in the early 1900s because of the fur trade and the hunting of their high-quality coats. Their population dropped from around 10,000 to less than 100 individuals. The conservation efforts have made sure that Arctic foxes have not gone extinct, but now the decreasing rodent population in the Arctic hurts the population. The specialized niche of the Arctic fox makes them more susceptible to extinction. Climate change has decreased the amount of rodents in the Arctic tundra, and with less rodents to eat, the competition with the red fox increases. The red foxes take over their dens and kill the Arctic foxes for food. But now, since the fur trade has greatly decreased, these foxes are not nearly as vulnerable to overexploitation as they were. The Arctic fox and their dens have had legal protection since 1940, and in Europe, the Arctic fox is a priority species under the Actions by the Community Relating to the Environment, or the ACE. This means they are given full protection. The population has come back, and these animals are now of least concern, and the number of them are in the hundreds of thousands. Thank you.